Welcome to Book and Puppet Company's Story Hour, live from Easton's beautiful Center Square. My name is Andy, and today we're going to be reading Grandma Gatewood Hikes the Appalachian Trail, which is a very good book to read in spring, which is almost spring, because you can start hiking the Appalachian Trail on the first day of spring, and you can go all the way to fall, because it's a very long way to hike the Appalachian Trail. You can see here's a map of the eastern part of the United States of America, and here's the beginning of the Appalachian Trail in Georgia, and it goes all the way through all of these other states: North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. That's where we are. Look, it's going right past Easton. New York, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire to Maine. Hi. So we're reading Grandma Gatewood Hikes the Appalachian Trail, written by Jennifer Thermes. I don't know if do you ever go hiking or camping? Did you go on the Appalachian? You know, you can hike a little bit of the Appalachian Trail, or you could, at least Grandma Gatewood did, hike the whole Appalachian Trail. So here we go. There's a picture of her on the side of a mountain. I think that since you're going to be here, I'm going to put this mask up for a little bit of extra safety. I'll just have to enunciate. Here we go. Grandma Gatewood hikes the Appalachian Trail. This is a true story. Between 11 children. Wow! She had 11 children. The clothes to wash, the cow to milk, the garden to tend, the occasional tramp passing through to feed, and one husband, Emma Gatewood rarely got a break. But sometimes she found a way to escape. A long ramble through the hills behind the farm was all Emma needed to set her heart right again. Can you imagine if you had all those brothers and sisters? In the spring of 1955, when Emma was 67 years old and her children had all grown up, she left her home in Ohio and set out to walk the Appalachian Trail, called the longest footpath in the world. The trail stretched along the mountaintops from Georgia to Maine. Emma had read about it in a magazine. The magazine said no woman had ever hiked the entire length, and that it was easy. Besides, it was what she wanted to do. Emma didn't tell her family where she was going, but no one worried. After years of hard work on the farm, they knew that Emma could take care of herself. So here's the map. It says Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, May 3rd, 1955, Emma starts walking. The Appalachian Trail is about 2,190 miles long and passes through 14 states. It follows the chain of mountains known as the Appalachian Mountains, which are over 480 million years old. It takes about 5 million steps to walk the entire trail. Emma wore canvas sneakers and carried a homemade sack packed lightly. She ate berries from the side of the trail and drank from cold mountain springs. She rested under trees and on top of rocks warmed by a fire. Some nights, the sky was so big and dark that Emma was afraid to sleep. Other nights, she curled up on a soft bed of leaves with plenty of mice to keep her company. Emma hoped to avoid meeting a bear, but she did once and chased him off by hollering as loud as she could. I didn't know that would work with a bear. The trail ran over hills, across streams, alongside roads, and through small towns. At times, the woods felt like a long green tunnel. Sometimes Emma lost her way, but even without a map, she always found it back again. Some mountain farmers didn't know what to make of Emma with her hair like a wild woman after days and nights on the trail, but most gave her supper and a cozy place to sleep. She often found the kindliest welcome from the poorest of families. Word traveled as she wound her way north, and Emma soon became known as Grandma Gatewood. This picture is of Virginia and West Virginia. Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, is headquarters of the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. For this reason, it is called the psychological midpoint of the trail. And you can see all these different stops along the way, and here's her dates, June 9th, June 29th, and here's where Harper's Ferry, West Virginia is. She got there on July 6th. That's the middle of the summer. Emma scrambled up and down steep hills carved by glaciers that had melted millions of years ago. The trail wasn't quite as easy as that magazine had said. For some fool reason, they always lead you right up over the biggest rock to the top of the biggest mountain they can find, said Emma. The weather turned from brisk and windy to hot and sticky and buggy to soaking wet to sunny, sometimes within a few hours. But Emma kept walking. Some days were rather dull. Other days, the views went on forever. Wow, what a great place to look out from. I would love to go there. Okay, now here's a map of Pennsylvania, which is where we are. New Jersey and New York, and as you can see, she comes in from Maryland, and then here's Gettysburg, Harrisburg, Lehigh Gap, this is very close to where we are, Delaware Water Gap, there she is walking, Scranton. Pennsylvania is known as the state where boots go to die. Parts of the trail are covered with sharp rocks that are hard to walk on, called Felsenmeer, which means sea of rock in German. Remember that. You're in Pennsylvania. Are you wearing boots? Oh, you have sneakers, so probably you're fine. Oh, look. Rocks tore the soles of Emma's shoes, so she held them together with tape. She tried wearing a pair of men's leather boots, but they were big and clunky and slowed her down. Emma chatted with everyone she met along the way, and when the newspapers heard about her big adventure, reporters met her at almost every stop. Look at all these magazines and newspaper articles about her. Soon it seemed as if the whole country was curious about why an old lady would want to walk all that way by herself? Emma answered, just for the heck of it. And she kept walking. By late summer, Emma was over halfway done with the trail. She had no idea that a huge hurricane was racing up the East Coast. Oh, here's her path through Connecticut and then Vermont. The writer Herman Melville thought Mount Greylock looked like a great white whale in the wintertime. It inspired his famous novel, Moby Dick. See, here's Massachusetts, New Hampshire. The storm hit hard. Rain soaked the land and rivers washed away houses. Trees cracked in the wind, smashing to the ground. Emma didn't hear news of how much damage had been done since she was deep in the forest. For her, it was just another day of foul weather. She slipped on a ledge and twisted her knee, but kept slogging through the wet mud. She tried to cross a rain-swollen stream, but it was flowing too fast, and Emma couldn't swim. Emma was tired. She found a crowded shelter with a group of teenage boys from the city. The hut was tiny and damp, but Emma enjoyed their company and they liked hearing her stories. The next day, they carried her across the stream. She was on her way again. Emma clung to two young men hiking together across a swift flowing river gorge. She traveled a ways with a troop of Boy Scouts. She was even invited to tea by a note that someone had pinned to a tree. All along the trail, people helped Emma. But after a while, she was glad to be alone again. Wow, look at this. She's sleeping under a very big sky. Look at these amazing stars and a full moon. That's real camping for you. The second fastest on-land wind speed ever was recorded in 1934 on Mount Washington at 231 miles per hour. It broke the record books and the anemometer used to measure the wind. Okay, here we go. She's gone through into Maine, Sugarloaf Mountain, Caratunk, Bald Mountain. She's going on all these mountains. Wow, look at this. September 25, 1955, Emma finishes her hike. As Emma traveled farther north, the pine trees smelled like coming winter. She balanced on mountaintops and scared the wind might blow her off. But she kept walking. By now, she had almost reached the end of her journey. Park rangers ferried her across a wide river. Just one more mountain to climb. Emma wore every piece of clothing she carried, plus a coat someone had left behind on the trail. Her last pair of shoes was in tatters. It was bitterly cold. She could barely see through the thick fog, and the eyeglasses she had cracked in a fall. Her knees ached, and her ankle was sprained. But Emma climbed, crawled, and pulled her way up the mountain until at last she reached the top. Emma sang a verse from America the Beautiful as loud as she could. Do you know America the Beautiful? Oh, beautiful for spacious skies. Come on. Waves of grain for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Woo! Thank you. She had set out to hike the entire trail by herself, and she did. Less than 2 years later, she would do it again. I wanted to see some of the things I missed the first time, said Emma. And that is the whole story of Grandma Gatewood Hikes the Appalachian Trail by Jennifer Thermes. Can you believe she actually did it again the next time? And thank you for coming for Story Hour. This book is available for 20% off if you click on Book and Puppet Company on our front page. And see you next time. Bye.